All right, we're live. We're getting work done today. Oh, hey, Mercadian. You are on right away. Dang. You were just waiting for me, weren't you? Ugh. Trying to do like all my characters together on one sheet. I think that'll look really cool. Then we're gonna design some like godlike characters later on. They're just gonna be in really generic poses. I don't think I'm gonna do anything super fancy. So what are you up to today, Mercadian? Lab reports. Hmm. That doesn't sound like very much fun at all. Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Hmm? Ooh, it's 1 o'clock already. Let me stream for a little while, and then I'll go to the store. No, I know. I'll get there before then. Thanks for the reminder. Her legs feel a little bit short. That's bad. That soup I ate made me gassy. The head feels big now. It's a little better. Neck feels short now. Her legs still feel short. Hmm. I know, right? Thanks, Arcadian. Yeah, that's she's watching Glee. I mean, she's watching a show, different show that's not Glee. Yeah, it kind of does. Hmm. A big problem with it is tilted in a weird way, and it's giving my brain problems right now. 'Cause like these eyes are actually supposed to be like. I've done it. I've made it worse. I see the other part of the problem here is it's saving. So this is the other part of the problem is this is the center line of their face, but uh-oh, mouth and chin don't line up. No, actually we're just gonna do this number. Yep, that was one of the big problems there. Oh hey, I am just redrawing Amy, Desmond. I just felt like doing a sheet with like all of our characters on it, just to kind of like, I don't know, have them drawn again. Um, I like to solidify these kinds of characters in my head so that I can redraw them anytime. I'm going to be drawing these characters quite a few times, I think. Oh, hello, this is actually... This is her dominant arm, so she's got some, like... some synthweave kind of, whatever this stuff is. Yeah, just fixing up some of the things. Um, I want to have that drawing like tightened up, and yeah, and just kind of like make sure that like everything makes sense. Um, I think it made sense in the original character drawing, but I think we've kind of moved some of our aesthetics forward a little bit. Yeah, I don't, that's, oh yeah, that's right. Doot, doot. It's cute. I love it. Yeah, it's actually not the right shape. It's gotta be more like something in that. I don't know. That doesn't quite look right either, but you know what? We're going with it. We'll fix it in post. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna move on to the Daogs a little bit later. We'll get them. Uh, we get the flesh. I have an idea of how to like really get some good shapes for them. Her legs still feel really short. I've like lengthened them like 4 times, so I'm just gonna have to draw them a little bit longer, I think. That was a different kind of song. Hmm. I know why it feels like her legs are short. It's because her like crotch is way up here. We just gotta move that down. Oh, what seems kind of small? Oh, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Cause like, yeah, she does. She does really seem kind of small. Um, there's like a lot happening in this area, and it's a little bit confusing, and I don't like it. We just get that basic shape in there, so there's her hips, thighs, kneecaps, leg. Yeah, that's better. I'm gonna bring this leg in a little bit. Yeah, I should have resolved that in my last pass, but I just didn't. You know what? That bow is getting in the way. I'm just gonna get rid of it for this drawing. Or I could just draw it last. Yeah, these proportions are a lot better for her. I think this leg needs to get a little bit longer still. And this leg, dang, what is going on? Does Amy have an infinity quiver, or does she have magic arrows, or does she just have regular arrows that she can imbue with magic? These are the real serious questions, obviously. Magic bowstring. Okay. So she has to have her arrows on her somewhere, though, for the drawing, I assume. Okay, this song is a little annoying. It's like banging into my head. You may suggest something silly if you wish to, Mercadian. I like that budget mindset, you know. An eye patch scope. Ah. I don't think that quite fits with her character, but I like what you're thinking. Yarn hence. I do like that Marcadian. Maybe for a different character for sure. This one's fun. Yeah, that sounds more right. For her character, where she's kind of got like a magic eye. Oh yeah, Desmond, tell me, you said that Black Panther could be better. I was very surprised because I loved it. But tell me what you thought could be done better. I'm curious. Ugh. Yeah, sure. Let me hop in the Discord. There, I'm in the lounge channel. Hey, how's it going?
It's good, man. So just to get right into it, it was really sad, and like that's not like an issue, but like you don't see Black Panther until like what the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie.
I know. I was talking with Jamie about that. I was like, yeah, this might be the longest that you go in a Marvel movie where you don't see the like main superhero until like the last few minutes. But then I was reminded that in the first Iron Man movie you don't see him in his suit at all until like the very end of the movie. So
Yeah, and I think that's key though. What you just said, the first Iron Man.
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
This is the second Black Panther movie, and I understand like the homage to Chadwick Boseman and all that stuff, and that's great. But this Black Panther 2, the stakes are supposed to be higher, things are supposed to be up. Um, I feel like there were small things they could have did to make it better. Like for one, when they were just like, "Oh, we're gonna attack Wakanda," like I thought it was gonna be like the comic book. He was gonna be like riding in on a massive wave with a bunch of sea creatures. He didn't. That was kind of disappointing. So it was just kind of like somebody like just like water ah. Man, dang, the water broke through a wall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like it was a bit underwhelming. Um, the other thing is that Namor, uh, Namor isn't really a villain. He's more of like an anti-hero. You know what I mean? He's like the Black Adam of like of the Aquaman type of thing. He's down to do whatever he feels is necessary to protect Atlantis.
Right.
Uh, I don't have a problem with them renaming Atlantis like Holocon and having like this whole like other vibe with it. I think that's cool. I think a lot of characters didn't have a culture kind of attached to them that they do now.
Yeah.
Like their culture was like, we're advanced. Kind of like that. That's typically kind of the culture. Like we're sea people, but we're advanced.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
that being said, like Atlantis is like just as advanced as like Wakanda, but it's just underwater. So it's a little disappointing to not see that. That kind of makes them seem like they're still living in the 1600s because they're not. Just by comic book standards, and I mean, like I guess like maybe they aren't, so they didn't really give you a real inside view into like their labs or if they have any labs or whatever, or you know what I mean. So
Yeah,
I just thought it was
I thought that that was a pretty cursory glance at the Takalan, whatever it was. I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, it seemed like it was a really like overarching view that we didn't get any kind of like a view of their tech. I will say it was interesting because they definitely did seem a little more primitive. Although they had those water mask rebreather things, they had some kind of like some tech, but it did definitely seem like they did not have the Wakandan amount. Although it is interesting, like they are the only other nation that has any kind of access to vibranium.
vibranium.
So that was interesting. I thought that was a neat.
Yeah, and they have the vibranium sun, and it's
Yeah.
like so that leads me to believe that like okay, unless he did that all by himself, then they gotta be like advanced. But it's just like I tell people, it's like in stories like all you have to do is just kind of like show a laugh, you know, don't like
Right.
show like and that's enough a lot of times for people to get it. Like oh okay, you know what I mean? Like know that there are some smart people, but other than beyond that, you kind of like led us to believe that they're still kind of living in a bit of a stone age, like underwater. Um, so and it's like that's not represented in the comic, but okay. Um, the whole thing with like Riri's suit, like I didn't mind it too much, but I didn't know why they went for the like the bulky look. Um, but whatever. The whole thing with Riri is kind of like it was just taste. So they were just giving us a teaser.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think I wonder if they're gonna give her like a Disney Plus series or something like that. That'd be actually kind of cool.
I think they were planning to do like this show, the rumor show, or I think it's a real thing. It's called like Iron Wars or Armor Wars.
Ooh.
I think. So it was a story with Tony, where like a lot of people were making a bunch of different variations of their own versions of like the Iron Man suit, and so like it'd be Iron Man Armor Wars. It's like a real like comic saga that happened. So I think that might be the case, but it might be Rhodey instead of Tony Stark, obviously. But uh, but yeah, that'll be interesting. I think like I said, just I don't know how I feel about them like killing the queen off. Like it was just kind of like what I mean. It was like okay, we're already sad, and now the queen dies.
I
Now we're even
know.
sadder.
I was there was talk about that on like on NPR today. I was just listening to. They were doing like a movie review, and they were kind of lamenting. They were like, yeah, this movie kind of lacked a lot of the Disney formula that like everything is kind of a little light and fluffy. Like the last couple Thor movies have been pretty pretty easygoing, light movies. Um, what was the one though I will say this did kind of go back to this kind of like early Marvel movies that they did feel a lot more serious. They did feel like they had like real consequences to actions and thing, people died and shit. Like, uh
Yeah,
so like I will say like I actually liked what they did with the queen and how they handled that. But I see where like yeah, this did not have any of that like light fluffy funny stuff. I think it was Riri. They were saying Riri was she was kind of like somewhat of the comic relief a little bit because
yeah, she
she
was.
had that tude, she got that attitude. But
Yeah,
but yeah, I know they were saying that like yeah, this they did not stick to that kind of like light fluffiness that you would expect in a Marvel movie.
I
So
think it's funny when people say like, "Oh, I'm tired of the Disney formula," and when they go away from the Disney formula, their movies don't do well.
yeah,
And
that's
then when
true.
they go back to the formula, then their movies do well. And it was
Yeah,
just like because I'm sitting here complaining about it, and I didn't think about like, yeah, the movie was like pretty serious. Like now that I think about it, it was definitely kind of like I just feel like I want to say like there not being a Black Panther bugs me, but I do understand though that like Shuri never envisioned herself being the Black Panther.
right.
So
Yeah.
she never wanted to be the Black Panther. Um, so I get why it probably took so long to get her to that point. Uh, bro, what are you doing? I want to get over.
I mean, I would,
Uh,
I can't argue. Like, I wanted to see more like Black Panther kicking ass action, which I thought that like the end of the movie was like the best Black Panther action I've seen yet. Even counting the first movie. Her and Namor's fight was awesome. So
yeah, a lot of people had a complaint where they're like, oh, he goes from the lab person to being able to fight, and I was just like, I mean, they're all technically trained to fight. Like,
yeah, that's kind of a thing with Wakanda. Like they're, you serve. It's like what is it? It's like Korea. You serve in the military and then you go on to your regular life.
and like so, a lot of people make the complaint, but they're like, oh, he weighs like a buck 50, or
Mm,
a buck 20, and it was just like, I don't think any of that really matters when you have super
when
strength.
you
No
when
one's
you
sitting.
yeah, when you've got a vibranium suit and you've got superpowers like the fucking what is the heart-shaped herb gave her, like I don't think that it matters that much how much she weighs. So,
Right. I was like, I don't see people sitting here like Wonder Woman only weighs like 150 pounds. Like,
exactly.
come on, guys. Gal Gadot probably weighs like somewhere around like maybe 140, maybe 130.
Yeah.
No one's out like. you can't do that. And so it's just like, yeah, no, it was really serious, and I mean, like, I don't feel like he did anything extravagant. That's what people are like, he's flipping and dipping all that shit. Like, you got super shit, man.
Yeah.
If you can, if you can flip and dip all over the place like that, like you, when you didn't have years of training. It's like it don't matter. That's like when Billy Batson says Shazam. He's not like some. He's not a trained UFC fighter.
It just
he just
has crazy powers, you know. It's like,
so
oh
some
my
of the
God,
weird are weird.
did you watch the Black Adam movie? I thought that was
Oh
great.
yeah, I liked the Black Adam
I
movie.
did too. I thought The Rock did a good job. I mean, I think they kind of built that role for him for sure, right? Like it felt like they were
Oh,
like,
so he's been waiting 15 years to do that role. Like he's one of the
really? He wanted to
so
be Black Adam. That's sick.
yeah. So he I guess he grew up on Black Adam, like being like his favorite hero person, and so they offered him roles in like MCU and DC, and he was just like, "Hey, I want to do Black Adam," and they were like, "Ah, we don't want to do Black Adam." So yeah, if it looks tailored to him, then that's because like he made this movie come to fruition. So
Essentially, that's awesome. That's, I mean, good for him too, right? Like pick your hero. If you've got the clout to do it, pick your hero who you want to play. I mean, that's kind of how I felt like I'm glad they're bringing Henry Cavill back
I
as
know,
Superman.
bro.
Ah, it's so good. It's
So
so
excited.
good.
He likes being Superman so much.
Oh, I know. Yeah, like not to mention too that Superman movie was like the best Superman movie I've seen. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't like how it was like it
Oh,
was
thank you.
kind of it went away from his character in a way that I'm not okay with. Like they keep trying to make him out to be like this demigod, kind of upset with the world, and it's just like no, that's not him. You
Yeah,
know,
I could see that. I could see that for sure.
like he's a boy from Kansas. He's not a Kryptonian from Krypton.
Right.
Like what I mean is mentally, that's where he's at. He's still a kid from Kansas mentally. You know, the greatest example is like the animated series. Like during the animated series, I think he invited John Jones to come to his house for Christmas. And so when he was home with his parents, John was surprised to see him like kind of like acting like a kid. And like there's a scene where John is like walking past the living room, and Superman is under the tree, like trying to use his X-ray vision to look into the present. And he's like,
Oh my God, it's funny as fuck.
it's like,
Oh.
oh, they lined it with lead.
They got lead wrapping paper. This is cheating. Uh,
And like, but
uh,
who he is. You know what I mean? Like that's who Superman is. He's not this, this guy that feels that he's superior to everyone around him. Like, no, he's just a dude who's just like, when he puts on the Superman costume, he has to become like the protector of the world, but he's not so enthralled with it that he like forms some kind of superiority complex. You
right.
know?
No, and I
So
can agree with that. Yeah, I guess I can see where like that the movie did kind of go away from that for sure. Um, I don't know. It never really
yeah,
occurred to me though, because I was so sick of like I was so tired of the idea that Superman was almost like a messiah. I felt like DC has this problem where a lot of their superheroes end up being like messiah figures, where they're like perfect in every way, flawless, and can do no wrong. Not only do they have superpowers, but they're superhuman. Uh, like maybe they don't think of themselves that way, but they act that way, if that makes sense. Um,
oh yeah, that was the whole thing for the there was a versus comic with DC and Marvel, and the Avengers got sent to the DC universe. The DC universe got sent to the Marvel universe, and that was essentially what the Marvel superheroes saw. They were like, man, these guys are more than heroes. Like they have statues and all kinds of things. Like they're worshipped like gods.
yeah, and almost rightfully so in a way, like because like that's what always kind of bugged me about Superman was like he would always choose to do the right thing, right? Like there was no like, and he had the ability to always choose to do the right thing because he's got these superpowers that allow him to do that. Um, I think it was like some of the more interesting ones where like Superman was like controlled to do something rad or something like that, but like that was never his personality. Where I did always think that Batman had a little bit more going for him as far as like humanity, where he could make bad choices, um, and he didn't have the superpowers to go, that would lead him out of that, or that would prevent him from doing that. Um,
Yeah,
so I don't know. So I found this was a common theme in like early I agree, Mercadian, Mr. Goody Two Shoes. Yeah, so like early comics, or I should say like the golden age of comics, like Superman and them, uh they were kind of produced as this answer to the evil that was happening in, right after the World War II. People were like in shock from that, uh, so they
Captain
were like,
America.
yeah,
Yeah,
we needed superhumans. We needed people who could be better than anybody out there, right? Because if we didn't have that, then it was like the world was too dark of a place. Um, and so yeah, that's where those kinds of heroes rose up from. I agree, yeah, like Captain America, or yeah, actually Captain America was really dark when he first came out. This is a bad example, but let's
well,
see.
he's still the Boy Scout.
He was,
That's
yeah, he was still the Boy Scout. He just was a little bit more free with the bullets when it came to killing Nazis. He's a little more, you know. I think
But I
later.
think that
Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
No, I got nothing.
I was gonna say like there's a I understand like how a lot of people see like Batman and Superman, and when I was younger I used to like Batman as also, but then I got older and I realized that Batman is more fantastical than Superman is, which is crazy to say, right? But it's like he's a normal human, billionaire, can deadlift, bench press, and all this stuff.
Right.
Takes all this damage. It can, you know what I mean? He's the smartest. He's the most detective. Like he makes all his own gadgets, and it's just like good grief, man. Like this guy's a superhuman. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he's like, and so the thing is that like with looking at Superman is like there's virtue in Superman, right? And what I mean by that is like you mentioned how he has the ability to get himself out of problems, but it's just like Batman has the ability to just buy himself out of
Yeah,
trouble.
yeah, it's
Uh,
true.
so it's just like and money is more powerful than Superman's powers any day.
Yep.
Uh, and
It's
the
so
thing is,
true.
like, Superman has the ability to take over everything. Like there's virtue in him not doing it because it's so easy for him.
Right.
He could conquer us. You know, like I don't know if you watched the Invincible, but I mean, if he was a Viltrumite, like it was easy for just one Viltrumite to conquer the Earth, and like Superman has that capacity, and he knows he has that capacity, and he
Yep.
just doesn't. You know, and not because he doesn't know he can. He's very well aware of what his powers are. Like I said, the animated series is like the greatest example when he's fighting Mongol, I think, and he's just like talking about how he feels like he lives in a world full of cardboard, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just like, but that's like that's that's his journey. It's just like having all of this power, but restraining himself, unless he absolutely like for the most part he typically pulls most of his punches. Like he doesn't hit people as hard as he can.
Yeah, he'd have
He
to,
has,
with the fragility of the of the guys he's beaten up in most cases, yeah, he'd have to pull his punches.
you know what I mean. So it's just like you're talking about Batman's out here beating the fuck out of people, giving it his all. But like Superman is like you could probably count how many villains Superman has killed on one hand.
Oh yeah, easily, easily.
And like anything that has like a heartbeat and the ability to think, he won't kill it.
Yeah. Well, and that's what always got me with his character though, was that it was never even a like I don't know, and maybe they did this a couple times in his storyline. I don't actually know. And I think in the more modern Superman they kind of have a little bit, but like so the thing like so take Spider-Man, the Peter Parker Spider-Man, with the whole Uncle Ben, great power comes great responsibility. Like his whole first instinct when he got his powers was that he was, he essentially was like, I'm gonna misuse these because I want to, I want to do things. I got places to go, things to do. Like I'm going to use these powers to get what I want. And that was his first instinct, and that's very human. Like that's something that like I think all of us can relate to in the sense that like maybe we wouldn't make that same choice, but we would think about it, like it would be in our heads regardless of if we wanted it to be there or not. Um
Yeah.
and so like but that's what always kind of was like my problem with Superman was that like those thoughts don't cross his mind. Those things don't really get in his way. Like he never questions will he be using his powers for good or will he use them, will he use them to get what he wants? Um
Well, you also have to think like his parents knew he was different, and they've known he's had powers this whole time. So
that's true. That's true.
in his whole like since he was an infant up until being an adult, like his parents have been telling him like, no, don't use your power, and they even go as far as to express this to the point to where like his father would rather die in a hurricane than allow him to, use his powers in a way that may like tip his hand, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
So like they go to great lengths to establish that like he has like this mental barrier that's been built up over years by his parents to be like, hey, like don't abuse your powers, don't abuse your powers, because they know how much of an issue it could cause. Like I think his parents, like the Kents, were very realistic in terms of like how they felt the world would perceive him, and so they were just kind of like, it would probably be better if you just never use your powers, and like that kind of like that's what they sat on. Now, I mean, in the comics, it's a little bit more. Uh,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the comics, there's a lot more leeway with that, but like in the movie, they went like to great lengths getting that across. I mean, he still uses his powers, even though like that's what they show him. Like, uh, he has these jobs and then he'll quit these jobs or whatever. And I think in the first movie, they said a lot of reason that why he quit certain jobs that he has is because like accidents will happen and then like people will get saved and then he'll just quit the job and quit.
He'll have to move on quickly move on so no one knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason why he chose to work at an oil tanker is because like he could help the most in that situation. Like if something happened, for one, you make a shit ton of money on the oil tanker. I don't know if you know that or not,
I have heard, yes.
but two, like he could, if anything happened, he's so far away from like everything that like So the idea is just like, oh, it's a coincidence that Lois Lane happened to come there at the time that she did to even see him kind of walking out of that situation.
Yep.
He was kind of in the middle of nowhere. But I don't know. I mean, I think they're cool.
Oh no, I agree. Like I mean that's the thing, right? Is like these are our heroes. These are our thing. These are our people that we've like we've elevated them. I love it. I think it's great. If you got to write for one superhero comic, Marvel or DC, what would you pick? Desmond? Hello? scared him away. But bolas. Explain what that is. I feel like I know the term, but I don't know what it is at the moment. Alright, I think I actually have to duck out for a little bit here. Oh, to immobilize the leg rope things. I knew I'd heard the term before. I just was like, what is that? I don't remember. Oh, I know, I know. We keep.
have so much toothpaste, we need to start selling it on the black market.
This is just the toothpaste that we got.
No, we got the brush heads too.
Yeah.
The brush heads are actually nice. We need those, but like, especially since they come with batteries.
Yeah.
I do need to change this.
Same.
So we gonna go?
In about actually like pretty soon.
Look at that. That Octiped got the blood out. Almost all of it. Wow. That was close.
You're welcome.
If anything, change it to the floss subscription at least, because floss is what I need. I want one of the little floss dispensers.
Alrighty, well I'm gonna actually have to call this, and I don't know if I'll be streaming later. We'll find out though.